Hello and welcome, fellow tankers. So the last stand game mode is coming back to World of Tanks. It was leaked here at the Armored Patrol, but also on WOT Express. Maybe you remember this game mode. What the fuck? Hordes of bots are coming to you and your team and trying to kill you. There are always several stages and waves where you have to defend the base against some various enemy bots, and the tank difficulty depends on the difficulty of the level you are choosing before the game starts. The date when it will start is not yet known. It will be somewhere in spring this year. Most likely it will have 3 different difficulties, and on Brutal you most likely will get this reward here, for example, a badge which will look like a lemon press somehow. So if you are into tequila, maybe this is something for you. Most likely it will have 3 different difficulties: normal, hard and brutal. It will most likely have some reward progression, but the rewards are not yet known. Most likely, together with credits, premium days and stuff like this, it will also have some 3D elements which you can put on your tank. So as you can see, some pictures are already leaked here or shown. This year you will have to defend the Magnus most likely on this map here, Siegfried Line, which will be adjusted accordingly to the event. As far as I can see from this map here, there are some base areas you can most likely retreat here, like this square and this square here. Most likely the Magnus will stand here in the middle, but let's see what will come. So how can you prepare for this event? I made here a tier list which hopefully helps you to choose the right tanks which will help you to defeat the bots. Let's start with the most beloved tank in this game mode. It will be the Grom. The Grom has a good combination of speed, mobility, armor and DPM. So exactly what you need in this game mode. With over 3000 DPM stock, or should I say without equipment and crew and stuff like this, you can dish out around 300 alpha damage, which is pretty nice. So if you have a Grom, normally 2 or 3 per team are the best choices you can make. Also an absolute amazing pick would be the Turtle. While lacking the mobility the Grom might have, the Turtle has also a high DPM. It has less alpha with 330, but a faster reload time, so it can dish out little portions of the damage faster. So together they are actually a pretty awesome combination. Grom doing the high alpha damage shots, almost killing the bot enemy, and the last like 500 HP the enemy might have, the Turtle can pick away from him. So I think Turtle and Grom, they will be the S tier choices for this game mode. If you don't have them, don't worry, there are also very good alternatives for this. The Tech Tree Grom, the Kilana, is almost as good as the Grom in this game mode. A little bit less DPM, a little bit less alpha damage, also less mobility, but all in all it absolutely works very good as well. So if you don't have the Grom, you can take the Kilana and it's absolutely fine. So the Tech Tree Turtle would be actually the AT-15, being super slow as well, but a much larger target. Still having very high DPM, this tank can also work in this game mode. Problem might be here the penetration. Even on the premium shell it has 252, so definitely not as good as the Turtle, but still possible to pick and should work pretty nicely. Other very nice alternatives can be the TS5, for example, a premium American heavy. TS5 even harder to pen for the bots, I would say, than maybe the Turtle and the Grom. Very high DPM, pretty slow, will work absolutely fine in this game mode. Also you can choose the Ferdinand, being a little bit more mobile. It can have a working armor against the bots, which are not shooting very high penetration shells. But I would recommend here the Tier 7 cannon, the smaller cannon, because then you get the DPM of almost 3000. Normally you don't have to pay for gold ammunition in this game mode, so the pen with 270 should be absolutely enough. I would say this is worth trying out if you don't have any other options here. Might even work better than the AT-15. The next very good option would be the premium tank XM66F. It can play pretty nasty hull down. It has a workable DPM of 2600 in this game mode and a better mobility than, for example, the Ferdinand. So this would also be worth a try. The niche of dishing out low alpha damage, but having a high rate of fire is also filled with the ShPTK and the Caernarvon. The ShPTK being very mobile but having no armor, you have to be very careful. But you come with a very high DPM, firing very fast. Also against some enemies you can shoot the 100mm penetration of the AG shell, so having maybe one ShPTK in the team isn't a bad idea. The British heavy tank Caernarvon is also very well suited for this mode. It is mobile enough and has a high DPM. Combined with some bounces because of a turret armor, Caernarvon works very well in this game mode as well. So I don't know how many members the game mode will allow, but if it's for example 5, I would say like 2 Grom, 2 Turtle and maybe 1 ShPTK or Caernarvon should work actually pretty good. Let's talk about some other interesting alternatives. Maybe the ISU 130. Not having really any armor, but being quite mobile and having a high DPM with around 500 alpha damage. This thing might be an option to consider if you don't have any of the other choices. Also, for example, the ISU 152 as well, pretty ugly, but being also quite mobile and having enough DPM with 750 alpha damage, focusing the big targets in the enemy team, maybe also a viable option. So let's talk about the T28 and the T28 prototype. They both would work pretty well in this game mode. The T28 being very well armored, but super slow, this will be a problem. He has enough DPM with around 400 alpha damage, so something between high alpha and high reload should work as well pretty good. The T28 prototype, this is the less armored version but with a turret, being more mobile, lagging a little bit with DPM. But if you combine these two, I think you can manage to build a pretty decent team as well. The KP-07 would be the alternative for the ShPTK in my opinion. It can have sometimes lucky bounce, it has very high speed, the DPM is pretty good, very low alpha damage, also a little bit problems with the penetration. You can shoot normally heat rounds in this game mode, and you have the HE shell with 90mm penetration. So maybe not as good as the ShPTK, but would be also an alternative if you still need a mobile damage dealer. So not included in this tier list is unfortunately the Zwilling, because there's no picture available at the tiermaker.com website. But let's check out the Zwilling. I think it will have a very workable armor, so most likely lots of stuff can bounce here. And you come in pretty mobile and with a high DPM. Not as good as the Caernarvon for example, but still enough in combination with mobility and the armor of his tank to become useful in my opinion. I'm pretty eager to find out how the Zwilling will perform this year in the last stand game mode. And of course we have to make the honorable mentions of all our ramming fans. So if you want to drive into the enemy or catch the shells for your teammates, there are some interesting options for you to do so. You can boost the ramming skill together with the turbo and the better survivability equipment, and activate the skill which will make you dash, so it gives you additionally some forward speed boost, and then you can just burst forward in the KV4 for example, the KV5, the VK100 works, or the Mauerbreaker, the VK168. Especially on normal difficulty and hard difficulty, these ramming tanks are working normally surprisingly well. I don't know if on brutal difficulty this would be the meta tactic, but I can imagine one tank of those in a platoon with Groms, Turtles, maybe one Caernarvon, something like this. And those big fat armor tanks can be fun and work as well. Problem with the VK100 will be that it has low DPM, so maybe you should take the smaller cannon on this tank as well to get more DPM. Also interesting could be the Chrysler for example. This thing will bounce a lot and also has the ramming capabilities. But when it comes to DPM, the Chrysler is, yeah, well, not really the meta. So maybe on normal difficulty that would be an option, but higher than normal, maybe rather not. So let's see when this event will start. I hope this tier list helped you out a little bit. You can prepare now for the upcoming event. Maybe grind yourself one of the tech tree tanks if you don't have a premium option or alternative. Also, you can prepare your crew maybe if you want to reskill them or make a new crew, something like this. I hope you have fun preparing for the last stand. I enjoyed this game mode, even it can be a little bit tedious if you keep losing and losing. So I also would recommend you to check out another video of mine, which includes some tips for defeating the enemy on the hardest difficulty. Gather your friends together or at least go on Discord and search for new ones. So then this game mode is normally not a big deal and you can save yourself a lot of time. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great weekend. See you on the battlefield and cheers bros.